I guess this is a good angle, I guess. We will see how this goes. It's been a minute. What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing today, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you guys are currently watching from? How's it going? How's it going? Is this a good angle? Yeah, I guess this is a good angle. This ain't too bad. We got a higher chance. How's everyone doing today? Where's everyone watching from? I'd be interested to hear where everybody is tuning in from today. Hitting legs today. I have legs tomorrow, brother. Can't wait for that. Should be a good one. Tomorrow is my... What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is my RDL and my split squat leg day. RDL and split squats. So that one fucking sucks. Them RDLs, man. I do them RDLs and I don't know where the fuck I am for a few minutes. Canada. Okay, cool. Hola, Yasmin, how you doing? The Netherlands, man, that's pretty crazy. The Netherlands. That's really cool. Man, this is really one of the coolest things about, this sounds like pretty trivial and shit, but this is honestly one of the coolest things about the fucking internet is that people can meet you from anywhere. I have some clients that I work with from South Africa. I have some clients that I work with from London. I have some clients that I work with from Australia. So this is, the internet is a pretty fucking crazy thing, man. The Netherlands, that's pretty awesome. Well, guys, I figured we would use this time just to kind of do a little Q&A. So it's been a while since I have really done a TikTok live. And typically what I like to do on those, I like to just kind of use them as an opportunity to ask questions and just kind of bullshit a little bit. So I guess in the time while I wait for questions to start rolling in, I'll just kind of start giving you guys an update about what is going on within my own personal bodybuilding. So I'm still bulking. Woke up at 221 this morning. And as of now, the goal is still to continue bulking for the rest of the year. So up until the end of 2022. And then I will more than likely be doing some sort of diet at the beginning of 2023, just kind of starting off January, start dieting and start to get some body fat off. And then the goal from there at this point is to kind of take off 20 to 25 pounds and see what we look like at that point. And then if I'm actually happy with the level of muscle that I have, then there is a show that I would like to do late next year, late October, early November. So we will see. But as of now, we're just continuing to bulk and continuing to try and get bigger. Specifically in the legs. The legs is really where I need it the most. So I'm just really kind of pounding away at my quads. So what foods do you recommend for a mini cut? Sean, you can eat whatever you want when you're mini cutting, just as long as it fits your macros. So, I would probably recommend foods that keep you fuller for longer, like oats and fruit and veggies and stuff like that, but you can really eat whatever you want. I'm on a cut and I feel like I'm skinny fat at this point. Any recommendations on how to keep going? Yeah, the only way that you're going to get over the skinny fat phase is by putting muscle on your body. And the only way that you're going to put muscle on your body is by gaining weight. So that's my recommendation. Basically, if you're skinny fat, you basically have two choices, the way that I see it. You can either cut and be skinny with no muscle, or you can bulk and be fat, but at least have some muscle. And I feel like being fat with having muscle is the better of two options. Because then the next time that you cut, you're actually going to have some muscle and you won't be skinny anymore. How many calories? Vilisol, I'm currently eating like 4,200. 4,200 on rest and training days. I just recently made an increase from 4,000 to 4,200. Do you make a decent living off of online coaching, or is it just a side hustle? It's just a side hustle for now, but I want it to be my full-time job for sure. So I'm grinding, trying to make it my full-time career. Is 18-inch biceps at 15 good? I have no idea. I can put my hand on a Bible and say that I have never once in my entire life taken a tape measure and like measured a body part of mine. I literally don't give a shit. So I have no reference about muscle size and all of that type of stuff. What are your thoughts on Star Trek machines? So it's a lot like a lot of the other stuff, man. Like some of it's good and some of it's bad. Like I've used some of the Star Trek stuff that's really, really good and I like it a lot. And I've used some Star Trek stuff that I don't like that much. Yeah, Sean, you can eat any food that you want in a mini cut. As long as you're within your macro allotment, you're going to lose fat. It doesn't really matter. How long would you wait before tweaking calories if you're not losing weight? 2 weeks, probably. Usually if I go 1 week where it doesn't move, I think, okay, like it could just be like stall and water weight or something. But if it's typically like a week and a half to 2 weeks, that's pretty much enough time to know that it's time to move on. I mean that I've leaned out everywhere so far except my stomach and lower back. Yeah, those are going to be the last places where you lose fat. That's just what's going to happen. And for you to get the fat off that areas, you're just going to have to keep dieting, which means you just keep getting skinnier. So, hey, what's up, Em? What's going on? Emily, where are you at right now? You're not in, no, you're not in New York yet. Because weren't you just, you were just in fucking, in Leaf River yesterday. So where are you at? You get anxiety with pre-workouts sometimes. No, not really. I typically have anxiety before all of my workouts, whether I take pre-workout or not. So I just smoke weed, honestly. How do I find my calorie maintenance? Jay, it's a giant game of guess and check. Eat a certain amount of calories for a week and see what your weight does. If it goes up, then you're probably in a surplus. If it goes down, then you're probably in a deficit. If it holds, then you're probably at maintenance and adjust accordingly. Tips on doing a permanent cut, not a mini cut. Just eat less and move more, man. That's all there is to it. Eat less and move more and just repeat until you're done. Thank you, because I've learned so much from your content. Birdie, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot to hear that people take value from it. O'Hare. Oh, yeah, you're headed to New York. New York, fuck. What time is your flight, Em? What time is your flight? I'm not huge. Ellis, there's no possible way that I can answer that question. There's no way. Like, I cannot tell by your body weight whether you should cut or bulk. I have no clue. I want your beard. This is all genetics, man. I got no tips for you. No tips. This is just all genetics. Seth Rogen, can't wait for the Mario movie. I hear Seth Rogen pretty often. I personally don't think that I look like Seth Rogen, though. Personally, but I do hear that one a lot. Thoughts on ground bison for muscle? I think it's great. Go watch the video that I put up a couple days ago talking about red meat. I think that red meat's probably the best protein source that you could possibly eat. And ground bison, depending on how lean it is, ground bison can be the leanest red meat that you can find, aside from like deer and elk and stuff like that. So I like bison. It's very expensive in Illinois. It's very expensive here, so I just buy beef instead. What kind of shoes are you wearing in most of your videos? So I'm either wearing the Vibram KSO EVOs, which are the toe shoes, or I'm wearing my Atomics, which are the camo ones. Will you ever switch gyms to access more equipment? Yeah, if any gyms open up next to me that have that equipment. For at least for the area like that I live in, within like a certain mile radius, like I think that I go to the best gyms that I have available to me. There are some gyms that are more closer to Chicago that have that type of stuff, but I can't drive 45 minutes to an hour back and forth every day. I have a very busy coaching business and I have a full-time job, so I don't have that kind of time. Maybe when I go full-time coaching, maybe, but I'm pretty happy with a lot of the equipment that I have now. Is it okay if I take triceps out of push and just do them on my rest day? No, Gabe, I wouldn't do that. I would just do them on your push day, because then your rest day is not a rest day anymore. Is red beef or chicken better for protein? Beef. How do I know when I'm ready to bulk? I've never been under 25% body fat. Is it a body? Yeah, it is a body fat percentage thing. If you've never been under 25% body fat, you should absolutely not be bulking. I'm at a point in my cut where I can't drop calories anymore. Is this where I need to do cardio? Yes. Doesn't red meat increase cancer risk? It's pretty unlikely, Ellis. People have been eating red meat since we were fucking Stone Age. And even if red meat does increase cancer risk, bro, everything fucking causes cancer. And honestly, the way that I see it, if you live a healthy lifestyle and you exercise and you eat healthy food the majority of the time, and you don't drink and you don't smoke, and you live a healthy lifestyle, I think red meat is the least of your concerns. 12:25 layover in New York City, then I'll be in Hartford. Kim and I will be in NYC on Friday. If you are like out in the street and you see like rats and shit out there, you gotta send us like pictures or videos of them. Like, not because I like rats are fucking gross, but like I always hear in New York City that there's rats everywhere, so I just like I gotta see it. I need you to vouch for me. Nathan joins Saturday. What day is it today? Today's Wednesday. And Hartford. Is Hartford in New York? Hartford is Connecticut, right? Yeah, Hartford, Connecticut. So, are you're landing in Hartford, or you're landing in New York? Can't spell menu without me and you, so what's up, baby? Skaggy, that was fucking smooth as shit, bro. That's a good one. Ryan Fitzpatrick. See, now I definitely look a lot more like Ryan Fitzpatrick than I do Seth Rogen, that's for sure. Naptown, how you doing, bro? I'm doing all right. How can I fix my winking when doing barbell squats, and how can I improve my depth? So a lot of times the butt wink, from my experience, comes from a weak brace and weak glutes. So I would look into doing things like that and improving your external rotation at your hips and your ability to brace through your midsection. And how can I improve my depth? Typically, that's like an ankle mobility thing, but just working on it. You get better at things by doing them more often. So just work on it. Would you increase volume on more suboptimal exercise? Dumbbell flies as there's less stimulus. Yeah, typically, like if I'm going to increase volume, like add more sets to a program, I add them from like exercises that are easier. I don't typically, if people are training at the appropriate intensity and they're doing 2 sets of hack squat and 2 sets of leg extension and I want to increase volume, I'm not going to have them squat more. I have them do more leg extension. How come you don't leg press? Because I have an adductor injury right now, and the leg press really aggravates my adductors. So, I used to leg press all the time. I used to fucking leg press deep as fuck. If you wanted to take the time to scroll back to the beginning of my my TikTok and find the videos, I used to fucking leg press deep as shit, and I love the leg press, but it just really hurts my hip right now. So I actually haven't done any leg press in like probably like 6 months, a really long time since I've done any leg press. Why can I use more weight using a cuff than a D handle? Probably because you're in a better anatomical position to actually use the load, so you can be stronger. Any tips for getting to the gym? I can wake up early, but I get this weird fatigue when I need to go. That's a discipline thing, dude. You gotta just fucking go. You gotta make yourself go. There's no tip that I can give you to motivate you to go to the gym. Like, that's on you. What do you think about circumcision? Really a wild concept if you think about it. Pretty crazy that we snip off these babies' foreskins without asking their permission. Do you ever eat chicken, or is it purely red meat? I eat more chicken than red meat because I can't afford to eat exclusively red meat right now. But I eat more chicken than red meat. But I am also aware that that's not the best thing that I could be doing. Thoughts on Optimum Nutrition protein powder? I think it's fine. 4.8 LOL. If you're asking that question, then you obviously don't watch my content very closely. Failure over RIR always. Mom is working in Massachusetts. Hartford is the closest airport. So Emily, are you going to go to like New York, Connecticut, Maine, and Massachusetts, like all in the same trip? What exercises can bias the adductors? The adductor machine. We are traveling up to Maine tomorrow, and then we will take the train on Friday. Crazy. Emily's visiting like every single state on the fucking East Coast and like in like one weekend, it looks like. What do you do outside of the gym? I coach people and work. I have a very, very busy life right now. What exercises other than the adductor machine? I mean, you're gonna hit your adductors in your squats and stuff, but there is no other exercise that directly hits the adductors other than the adductor machine. Someone will say like, oh, like a single leg like cable adductor. It's garbage. It's just completely garbage. If your gym doesn't have an adductor machine, you got to move to a different gym. Period. Have you ever coached a type 1 diabetic? I have not, Ellis. I have not. I wouldn't be against it, but there would have to be a lot of communication between the client and I about what works and what doesn't. My gym doesn't have one available. Yeah, dude, you got to go to a different gym. And I really hate to break it to you. And it's like, there's very few things in the gym that are very like strict black and white. But there is straight up no other exercise that hits the adductors other than the adductor machine. So there's nothing else. Cam wants to go to like Vermont or New Hampshire. Yeah, I feel that, and that's a lot. But at the same, I kind of said this the other night. Like all of those states are all like bunched up in a spot, and like each state is like this big. So I bet I don't know obviously, but I bet it probably doesn't like take a ton of time to visit all of them. But honestly, I feel like if I was in that area, I'd probably want to do the same thing too. I'd probably want to check them all out. You should do a live with TNF. I would love to. I don't know if TNF even knows who the fuck I am, though. Thoughts on the Arnold split? I think it's pretty much the same thing as push-pull legs. I think that push-pull legs is better, but Arnold split isn't bad. Do you think just one working set can be beneficial on some movements? Yes, Aaron, that's what I do. If I didn't think it was beneficial, I wouldn't do it. We can meet up. Yeah, Emily, we're both off of work on Monday. So yeah, you can meet up with us for sure. We're not doing anything. I mean, Monday's Carissa's birthday, but I think that she would obviously she would want you to be here for her birthday. So just let me know, because we're both off. Well, if you meet up with us on Monday, will Nathan be there, or will Nathan have to go back to Iowa? I'm in college and plan to drink weekly. What do you recommend I do with calories before or after? Fuck, dude, that's the thing that makes alcohol so fucking tricky, is like you don't really know what to do with it. I mean, you can try and account for your calories from the alcohol if you want, but the reality of the situation is probably most of the time you're going to go into it not knowing how much you're going to drink. So, in a gaining phase, yeah, man, you're just going to have to try to incorporate the calories from the alcohol, honestly. I mean, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but weekly drinking is not going to be something that is going to get you where you want to be. And I'm sure you're aware of that, and you're making this choice anyways, but do you not run back-off sets? I do back-off sets all the time. How do you structure your warm-up sets before your working sets? Typically, as the weight goes up, the reps come down. So like if I'm going to do like a hack squat with 6 plates, I would start with 2 plates and do 2 plates for like 8, and then do 3 plates for 5, and then 4 plates for 2, and then 5 plates for 1 or 2. And then I would work on 6 plates. Nathan's friend Caroline. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that she was going to New York too. He's driving me back, so he will be with me. Cool. Well, Emily, like I said, just text us, let us know. As far as I know, we'll be around because we're both off that day, and it's Carissa's birthday. So, yeah, just let me know. How many minutes do you rest in between warm-up sets? I typically don't. I just go from one warm-up right to the next. I typically do all my warm-ups, bang, 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 get them done, and then after my last warm-up, I'll rest a little bit before I do my working sets. But I don't take a lot of time to warm up unless it's an exercise that I need to spend a lot of time warming up, like a hack squat or something. Progressive set. I don't know what progressive sets are. My top set and my back off set are progressive, so I don't really know. I don't know what progressive sets are. Lots of terminology. Lots of terminology getting thrown around. I think this is where people just get confused on everything, is terminology. Increasing the weights every set. I'm kind of confused, man, because I increase my weights on every set. So your last set is your top set. I mean, I do that a lot of times too. I don't know, man. I think we're all getting confused with a lot of this stuff, guys. I literally, I do not count my warm-up sets at all because they don't mean anything. Your warm-up sets are completely irrelevant. The warm-up sets are not heavy enough, nor are they close enough to failure to actually stimulate hypertrophy. The only sets that you should be counting are the sets that you take close to failure. If a set is not taken close to failure, it does not count. It does not tick. There are certain things that you need to do in order to make hypertrophy happen, and those warm-up sets do not tick those boxes. Do you think in your newbie phase you could increase load on squat every week? Like, yeah, you possibly could. You possibly could, but it depends on the skill, like how good. If you're someone who like is a shitty squatter, you're not going to be able to add 2.5 pounds each week. But if you pick up the skill of squatting good, like, yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Would you normally do your heaviest set first, then do back off sets after? Yeah, most of the time I do my heaviest working set first, and then I do back offs after. Is full range of motion still important if you're mainly targeting one range? Example, should I still fully shorten the muscle in each rep if targeting the length and range? Absolutely. The number one way to get a muscle to grow is to train it through its full range of motion. Whether or not there's tension there or not, train the muscle through full range of motion. My first working set is heavier and lower rep, and second is higher rep range. Yeah, that's typically how I do it, but I also have times where I do my lighter one first and then I do my heavier one second. So there are no set rules, but typically if I'm feeling good, that's how I do it, is I do my heavier one first and then my lighter one second. Any tips on cable lateral raises? I feel it in my front delt. Make sure that you're adducting the arm and not raising it to the front. I like to think about dragging my knuckles to the wall, like to the right and left of me. And make sure that the traps are out of the initiation of the movement. Do you ever feel lower back pain when squatting? Yeah, sometimes. Not like crippling. How many working sets including back off sets? There is no set number. User, there's no set number. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. But there's no set number. In general, the exercises that cause the most fatigue, I do the least amount of working sets on, and exercises that are easier, I do more. All right, guys, probably be on for a couple more minutes here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap this one up. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to go use the bathroom here, and then I'll be right back. All right, we back. Like I said, guys, probably like another 5 to 10 minutes or so. So we'll just kind of use this as an opportunity to get the last questions in, and then we'll get this one wrapped up. Yeah, ABA, no problem, bro. No problem. I first do incline, then flat. I hit a plateau on my flat. Replace the flat. Either replace the flat with something different or start doing the flat first. I remember you seasoned your pans a certain way. All I do is spray a little bit of oil in the pan, and then I take a paper towel and wipe it around. That's it. How many weeks do you do, then deload? So it's not planned. I take my deloads like auto-regulated. So as I feel like I need them, that's when I take them. That's typically around every 6 weeks. So, but I've had times where I've done a deload and then deloaded again 4 weeks later, and then I've had times where I've done a deload and didn't need a deload for another 10 weeks. So it's completely auto-regulated. But if on average, it's around every 6 weeks. Do you recommend straps to beginners, or should you let them develop their grip strength? So I think that there's a misconception out there that if you have straps, like you aren't training your grip, and I don't think that's true at all. So I think that like people should probably start off training for their first like year maybe without straps, and then after that like straps are fine. And even if I had somebody who was a complete beginner like day one in the gym and they were using straps, I think that's fine too. I think that's a ridiculous misconception that if you use straps that like you're not training your grip. That's just not true. And unless if you're a power lifter, then yeah, like grip strength makes sense. But like if you're a bodybuilder, why do you care about how strong your grip is? I haven't deloaded in months and I feel like I'm progressing my lifts every week. Is this normal? Maybe. Lots to unpack there. Is it okay for a second set to not progress as fast as your first? It's okay, yeah, as long as it's progressing though. If it's not progressing at all, then it's got to go. But if it's just not progressing as fast, then that's fine. I can't afford to buy belts for bracing. Is it fine to lift heavy? Yeah, it is. You're going to have to learn how to brace. I don't use belts at all. How to get a beard. Have good parents, man. Have good parents. EKD, if you're progressing week to week, then that's all that matters. If that's all that matters if you're making progress. So I wouldn't compare yourself to others. I would just keep doing what works for you. straight sets versus top set. So we're kind of getting into this terminology thing again. Though they're the same thing. A straight set just means a set, one set. No intensity techniques. It's just a straight set. So they're kind of the same thing. I'm getting a lot of questions in this live about different types of sets. Progressive sets, straight sets, top sets, back off sets, warm up sets, it's all that this is just confusion on terminology. They're all the same thing. It's just terminology is getting mixed up. So, which is, man, one of the things, like, I'm not on here to talk shit about other people and stuff, but other coaches and stuff, but man, there are so many coaches and TikTokers and stuff out there that are just like putting phrases to things just to try and, like, I don't know, make their mark on the industry, and all that it's doing is just confusing people. I know it's not your area, but do you think training to failure has a place in powerlifting accessories? It can. It can. You're just going to have to manage that with training really heavy on your compound movements. But yeah, powerlifting type of programs isn't really my... confuses me with all the terminologies. Yeah, exactly, man. It's just people coming up with words and phrases to describe things that are super simple. So, all right, guys, just another couple minutes here. I got about 2 minutes here, so we'll kind of get these last round of questions in, and then we'll get this all wrapped up. This is the first time that I've done a live in a while. It's probably been, I don't know, I could look it up, but it's probably been a couple months since I've done a live. So I'm gonna try and get back to doing these. These are a lot of fun. Keep up the good shit, Cowlick. I appreciate you. You so much, bro. I'm out. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I love your training style, and I use it for all my accessories. I don't think it's hindering my big three. Then just keep doing your thing, man. If it's not hindering your big three, then just keep doing them. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And on that note, guys, I think I'm going to get this all wrapped up. So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Going to try and get back to hopefully doing these more frequently. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.